Hello, everyone.
On to the fact it's when it happens.
Hello, hello.
Morning.
Good to see everyone. All right.
Abundance frequency.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So welcome again to our six-figure nonprofit 90-day mentorship program. And it is so good to see all of your smiling faces. I mean, we had an action-packed session last time with plenty of breakthroughs and takeaways and action items. So just to do a quick recap on it. So in our last session, we went through how to recruit your Rockstar program assistant, all right, and talked about that and tasked everyone with finding that person, because having that person allows you to clone yourself and get so much more done. We also went through 8 reasons why your board isn't engaged. And I gave you all a bunch of resources and tools to challenge you. So that way you can just make sure that you've got the right people on your team, etc. And then we also talked about, just recapped on the 10 things that are stopping you from getting donations, just to give you that full checklist so that you can work with your program assistant to start making sure that you've got that social media presence, that your website has the right things, etc. And then our homework was just to work on your mission statement, to post that in the Facebook group so that we could provide feedback, as well as, your story and your vision, et cetera, so that we could make sure that that messaging is crystal clear so that you can get your word out and your message out to as many people as possible. And of course, I gave the book recommendation, Stop the Nonprofit Board Blame Game by Hardy Smith. So we covered a lot, which was awesome. So let's just take a moment and start off with some takeaways and more so some wins. So who got something done, from the program that they learned, implemented it, and got a big result or a big win. We'll hit a couple of them and then get going. I saw Jeanette first. So go ahead and share.
I got my big win by getting my program assistant.
Yay, virtual clap. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's huge.
It was. And because when I posted your beautiful template on my social media, crickets, right? I didn't know what happened. Later to find out that because previously I had made a post just to my husband's cousin with it only went to her. But the good news was it got me to post in a different group and find my perfect project assistant.
Oh my gosh, that is huge, Jeanette. And just so you all know, to put a dollar sign on that, you now have this person that can dedicate and work hours for free for your nonprofit. Just to put a dollar sign on that, recruiters will actually find you someone. And so to get an actual, admin person or whatever for your nonprofit, that's going to run you $50,000 to $60,000 a year in today's competitive market. And recruiters charge 10% upfront of that annual salary. So that literally would be a $6,000 check that you would have had to write out to someone, in addition to paying that biweekly amount to this person. And instead, based on the program already, see, you're already getting a return, a significant return on your investment here. Good job, Jeanette. Wow.
Even when you suggested I could get a volunteer, blew my mind.
That's it.
Gosh, I can ask for a volunteer.
That's it. That's it. I mean, that's the thing. There are solutions to the things that you've been struggling with, but you just haven't been aware of them. And it literally takes someone making you aware of those things so that you can implement them and start getting the result. Great takeaway. Great job, Jeanette. Anyone else have a big win that they want to share with the group? I see Rosalind. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Rosalind.
Yes. Well, I found a potential one, and she's on the call. She's on here with us, but not only is she the potential program assistant, she is the potential first employee of my company before even I get employed. So
love it. Awesome. Rosalind, great job. Great job. And to that special person, glad to have you here. And look at that, just getting your message out, stepping out, implementing a proven strategy from an expert, taking that action. You can already see those immediate results. Oh, that is so exciting. I see Troy. Go ahead and unmute yourself and share. Yeah, just hit the little unmute button.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I got actually a lot of wins, lots of wins.
All right, just
I'm
run them through real fast.
so
So we can
glad.
get
Very quickly, got the program assistant very quickly. She couldn't be on the call.
awesome.
I got from communicating with you and dialoguing with you, I got a new mission statement that will be more effective and productive
Yes.
in getting grants. I was able to construct the employee handbook and the volunteer handbook based on the template that you sent me. I switched everything around to fit my
Of course.
organization. Changed some tactics on the board engagement. So that was huge. Called everybody. We're going to have a board meeting next Sunday. And I got my social media presence elevated, way elevated.
Come on.
So it was a lot.
And are you already
Thank you.
seeing how, coupled with the strategy, plus then being able to have the community and all the accountability, just makes you, I mean, fast forward. There are nonprofits that have been running for 10, 20 years that have never even taken those steps that you've been able to do in such a short amount of time. Kudos to you, Troy. Very good, very good. I see Ruby. Let's go. Let's hear some wins.
Okay. I actually had two people for my program assistant. And one lady indicated to me she was going to come through the WISE program, that she's going to be moving out of the city. So we didn't think it would be smart for her to take the position.
Sure.
And actually, but I found a volunteer that's willing to come and volunteer with me 4 days a week, 5 hours a day. I was two of my board members, their term was up. I was able to replace with them with 2 more board members. You reviewed my mission statement, which was very good. And I am working with my web developer to change the mission statement and take out my storytelling and my pre-marital coaching because it's going over to another ministry.
Come on.
Everything that you suggested was just awesome. And my program assistant is not here with me today because I'm in quarantine. I tested positive for COVID. And so I'm alone, but I'm not lonely.
But you're not lonely. We're still all with you virtually. And again, prayers for healing and all that sending your way. But so happy to hear the progress, Ruby. And that's it. And again, being teachable, right? You know, some people are so stuck on being right that they won't be willing to get help so they can do it right. Listen to that again. They're so focused on being right that they won't get the help to actually do it right. And so instead, you all are here being teachable, being open, and getting new strategies. Because remember, everything we do during this program is going to be new to you. Because if it wasn't new to you, if you already knew it, you'd already be getting the result. You'd already be doing it. So that means every single thing we're going to tackle is going to be new. It might feel intimidating. It's going to feel uncomfortable. Your subconscious mind is going to make you scared and all these reasons why you shouldn't and all this other stuff. But you've got to push past it and take action in a different direction. Because if we want something different, we have to be willing to do something different. And as you can just hear from, folks in the group posting wins, posting in the group, etc., this stuff works. All work works. We just have to put in the work with the right strategy behind it. And to be able to see those results come in. So excited, so excited. And many of you have posted in the group and everything already about your successes, and there are going to be even more. So thank you all for sharing. So excited to be back for another session. We've got more for you today, which is great. So the first little success nugget that I want to share was, as I was going through, and you all did a phenomenal job with your homework, just seeing your posts and seeing everything that you put. One person in particular said, I'm so excited about my progress, but I'm also terrified. All right. And that just stuck out to me. I was like, that's going to be the success principle that we're going to talk about for today, which is, you're excited because you're moving forward, but at the same time, there's going to be a part of you that starts getting afraid all of a sudden. Sometimes you'll start actually feeling, anxious or worried or nervous as you're taking these steps in the direction that you said you wanted to go in. Isn't that crazy? Well, it's all because of, what we talked about before, which is the fact that we've got those two parts of our brain. And that subconscious part of our brain, the conscious part of our brain says, yes, I want the goal. But that subconscious part is saying, I just want to keep you safe. And to me, safe is just doing the same thing over and over again. Even if you're in lack, even if you're not being successful, even if you're not reaching your goals, at least we know what this place is. We don't want you to move. So don't be surprised that as you start moving forward, etc., you may start feeling, even though you're winning, even though things are going well, your subconscious mind may want you to look at the exact same situation and feel like you're defeated, feel like you're not making progress, feel like you made a bad decision, feel like it's not working, it's taking too long, I'm stressed, this is too much for me. I mean, your subconscious mind is going to throw all sorts of things at you. The best example of that is I was actually talking to a client, and this is a coaching client, and I was telling her about, she'd share with me what her goal was, and I told her exactly what she needed to do to get there. I was like, this is what you need to do. And she paused. And I knew in that moment, her subconscious mind was attacking her and giving her a list of reasons why she couldn't do it. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, tell me, what are those reasons that are going through your mind for why you can't do this simple action, which is going to get you your result? And she just started naming all these things, and I was addressing them. That's not true. You can still do this, X, Y, Z. I'm going through all of them. And then finally she was like, I don't know why, but now I just feel like because of the Ukraine, I can't do it. The situation in Ukraine. And clearly the situation in Ukraine, our prayers are out for, we're sending prayers to them. We want that situation to be resolved. But when I tell you that had nothing to do with her situation, like absolutely nothing at all. This is how committed your subconscious brain is to stopping you from moving forward. And when I called it out to her and I said, as awful as that situation is, and we want that to be resolved, but that has nothing to do. I was like, since when did you even become concerned with foreign relations? I've never even heard you talk about anything like that. That has nothing to do with what you're doing. That has no bearing at all. And she actually hurt herself and was like, you know what? You're right. Like, you're right. I'm just trying to find every reason not to do it. And I just need to do it. And turns out she was able to do it and step into it. And I was so excited for her. So I share that to say that our subconscious mind will throw everything rational or even not rational in your forefront to stop you from taking these actions, as simple as they may be, just to keep you in the same place. But here's a little success tip that you can use to help you overcome that. So if you're ever moving forward in an action, and we've got some new things today, I'm going to share some whole new things, some new strategies, etc., for us to keep on moving in this powerful direction. When you find yourself feeling terrified, as this person put in the group, or afraid, or worried, or fearful, or what, even though you're going in the right direction, here is something that you can tell yourself. The first thing that I like to do is I like to just take a deep breath, like a physical deep breath. So literally, inhale, exhale, that just kind of resets the body. It lets some oxygen flood in. And then the next thing that I do is I want to refocus my thoughts. That's it. Because what your subconscious mind wants to do is it cannot, stop you from doing the action that's going to get you the result, right? It really can't stop you. But what it can do is make you doubt that course of action by just making you see it differently or not even see the win. So first I take a deep breath, okay? And then I actually just refocus my thought. So instead of thinking about whatever that feeling is, oh, I'm terrified. Oh, what if my program assistant doesn't work? What if they don't like me? What if I say the wrong thing? This whole line of thinking, take a deep breath. And then I start thinking about the result. That's it. I start thinking about the result. Wow, it's going to be so good when we do this fundraiser, when we raise this money, when me and the program assistant are making things happen, and we're helping, the people we're helping, we're making a difference in the community. I'm getting my award, I literally start thinking about the result. And that then shifts your focus from what your subconscious mind wants you to focus on. And instead you start shifting yourself and thinking about, I can do this. An empowering thought, right? We want to just shift our thoughts from, terrified and afraid and all these things that are not real to a thought that is empowering, that gives us energy, that makes us excited. Okay. So you just shift that thought. Or even if, you're hearing something like, oh, I've never had a program assistant. I don't know how to do this. How about this? How about this? Another exercise that you can do is you can tell yourself, can I envision a version of me that is able to handle that? a version of me that is able to have this fundraiser, a version of me that is able to help more people, that is able to have a full staff, that is able to have, folks on salary, making a difference, a growing and thriving organization. Can I envision a version of me that would be okay with these things and that would be okay operating at that level? And you just think about that. Just see yourself there, see your nonprofit there, see your board there, see, your fundraiser there. Like literally just spend some time thinking about it. So just a little bit of visualization. Now, again, this is not about, making a vision board and putting some pictures up and, saying some affirmations and expecting everything to happen. No, we're going to have to put in the hard work. And I've already shared that in order for us to get this result, we're going to have to take a lot of powerful actions. Okay. So this stuff is not going to happen just from happy thoughts, but the thoughts can help you to reframe yourself so that you're focusing on empowering things that inspire you and that make you excited instead of focusing on things that have never even happened yet, all these worries and fears that likely aren't even going to happen that will only stop you from moving forward. Okay, is that making sense? And if you're from a spiritual background, like myself, I'm a Christian, there's a scripture that talks about be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And it's the same thing. It just means that by changing what you're thinking about, just changing the channel in your mind, you can go from just focusing on all these, negative feelings that'll show up anytime you're making progress. And you can just change that channel to start thinking about the result, seeing it working out, seeing it being a positive, and knowing that even the little hiccups that come along are all intended to get you where you're going. That's it. They're all working for you. Okay. Nothing is working against you. As long as you're taking the right steps and taking the proper amount of action with a proven strategy, you're going to get to your result. The amount of time that it takes will all be based on you and your mastery and the level of action that you take. But regardless, you can hit that target. All right. So excited for you. I hope that little success nugget was helpful. So let's jump into the strategies for today. All right. I've got a lot to share, so I'm going to try to squeeze it all in with our time together. But the good thing is of course, our sessions are recorded. You'll have access to the recording, so you can always play it back, etc. If you need to. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to cover today is going to be, I like to call it 10 steps to planning your virtual fundraiser. Again, 10 steps to planning your virtual fundraiser. And again, as always, we'll be sending you my notes. So likely, you'll get them likely tomorrow, give me a chance to, get them to Scarlett, get them all, nice and pretty for you all. But just like the last session, I'll send you these steps. So that way you don't have to agonize over, trying to capture every word, but just know that you'll have the complete notes there to make it easy, because that's the whole point of this program, right? I'm giving you the hacks. I'm giving you the shortcuts. I'm giving you the fastest ways to get these things done so that you can experience as much success as you possibly desire. All right. So 10 ways, 10 steps to planning your virtual fundraiser. So now that we've got our program assistant in place, you're doing all those things that donors are going to need as far as your mission and vision. You've clarified all that. You're getting those things in place. Your website has what it needs. You're on social. You're putting yourself in a position, to be able to see, the things that you need, et cetera. So now that we're getting all those foundational things in place, now it's time to start doing the work of planning your event, right? Because you've got some capacity. You've got your program assistant on board. So we're ready to get going. And again, if you're here and you're someone that hasn't started your nonprofit and you're in the program just to get the knowledge, no worries, just take this information down and you'll be able to use it when you are ready to start doing the fundraiser. Okay. So once we've got those foundational things in place that we talked about in our last session, now it's time to do some planning. Okay. Now let me share a little concept with you when it comes to, planning, as well as everything else that we're going to talk about. Sometimes it's not what you're doing, but it's how you're doing it. Let me say that again. It's not just what you're doing, but it's how you're doing it. An example of this is early on with my nonprofit, I felt like having a team at some points was like pulling teeth. Even though these were adults, these were all grown people, people had signed up saying, hey, I want to be on the board, or hey, I want to volunteer, et cetera. I literally felt like I was just having to hover and do everybody's job, and no one was motivated, and just a lot of those things that we talked about in the last session, as far as maybe the board being disengaged, etc. Okay, or even your volunteers can be disengaged, and it just felt so frustrating. And I would have meetings and I just felt like I was the only one talking or the only one participating, or it just really, we weren't getting the type of input or feedback that I wanted. But then I started learning some other strategies, because at the same time, I was learning how to grow my business. And so a business coach that I was working with at the time started, I was sharing, I'm like, okay, well, how do you really get people to be able to do things on their own, and, to be able to be more autonomous and take responsibility, so I'm not having to do everything with the organization. And he shared something really interesting, and I'm so excited to teach you all this. I mean, I spent over $100,000 learning about this, so you guys are going to get it now. But he shared that the way that you do it is, one, you have got to focus on the alignment of the team. The phrase, the alignment of the team, that is something that you have to actually be intentional about doing. And I'm like, alignment of the team? What does that mean? And another way of phrasing it is, you have to focus on getting buy-in. All right. So what is buy-in? Buy-in just means this: all those years, I'm telling the team, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is, here's your job, or which job do you want? Okay, let's all do it. And no one is doing it. And it was just so frustrating. But then when I learned those concepts from him and started implementing it, suddenly people were taking initiative on their own. People were really taking ownership. People were excited. They were, problem solving, innovating, like getting things done. And I'm like, this would apply to my nonprofit as well. Well, what's the difference? And what does that really mean? Well, the alignment of the team and getting buy-in is the difference between, someone just saying, hey, we're going to do X, Y, Z, and, this is what's going to happen on the job. And, I need everyone to get on board with it, versus someone having a conversation and sharing, this is the new direction we're going on. These are the goals that we have. Here's how this is going to help you. So what do you think? Or, do you think we can do it this way? Do you have any ideas? And everyone's kind of working together and creating this plan. And now we're all moving powerfully toward that plan. That's what the alignment of the team means. So now that we've done our foundational things, you've got your program assistant, which means you have some capacity, you have some room and some energy to grow, and some more help to implement. Now it's time to actually do the planning. But how do you do the planning in a way that your board and now your program assistant and any volunteers, et cetera, can be just as excited as you? We have to do an exercise to align the team. Okay, we've got to get everybody on the same page, because the reason you don't need motivation is because you're already aligned with the vision. You know the mission of your nonprofit, you know the vision where you're headed, you know why it's important, you have that sense of urgency for it, so you're already aligned. But you want to get everybody on the same page and understanding all of that just as clearly as you do, so that they themselves are motivated to want to do it. Does that make sense? That's the whole point. The concept is called buy-in. And this is not just something that works in your nonprofit. This is a success principle that you can use in your relationship, in your marriage, when it comes to motivating your kids, when it comes to, running your business, when it comes to anything that you're doing. Hey, getting your friends to agree on the movie that you want to watch, regardless of what it is, if you can learn how to get buy-in from other people, then suddenly they're going to want to do the same thing as you without it feeling like it was all about you, and they'll be self-motivated to do it for their own interests. So now you're thinking, okay, Audrey, that sounds great. So how do I get the alignment of my team? How do I get my team aligned with the vision? How do I get them to buy in to what I'm doing? That's what we're going to talk about right now. So that is the 10 steps to planning your virtual fundraiser. This is how you're going to go about planning it with your team, because you can't just show up at your board meeting and say, hey, y'all, we're doing a virtual fundraiser. This is what we're going to do. I need everybody to bring in some money. Any questions? That will not get you the result that you want. Instead, you need a strategy when you roll out a new initiative. And that's what we're going to talk about here, the 10 steps to do that. Does that sound okay? Is everyone ready to hear that strategy? Go ahead and drop in the chat to let me know you are ready to hear it, because we are jumping right in. All right, I know, I love it. Let's go. So the very first step for us to get the team aligned, these are our 10 steps to planning your virtual fundraiser. This is how we're going to get the whole team to buy into this concept, so that now everybody's moving powerfully toward the goal. the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to schedule a meeting with your board. That's it, because it's going to start with the board. And you can also have your program assistant there as well. But we are, if there are a couple of key volunteers, you can, invite them to attend as well. But we're going to schedule a meeting. Okay, so that's the very first step. And again, I'm going to send this whole outline to you so you'll have everything in front of you. All right, so you're going to schedule that meeting. And during that meeting, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to start off, open it up by sharing that new revised mission. Okay, hey y'all, we want to start off by just opening up the meeting by just recapping on our mission. Now, most likely no one even knows the mission. So they might not even know that we've revised it and clarified it and all that, because they probably don't even know it, and that's okay. But start off by sharing that mission, the new clarified one that we shared, in the group with the feedback. So, for my nonprofit, it's, hey, we give students access to college education, entrepreneurship, leadership, and financial skills so they can impact the world. That's our clarified mission statement. But you're going to share yours with the team. All right. And then you want to do an exercise with them and say, hey, so for our icebreaker for today, before we get into today's business, we want to just go around the room and talk about, what caused you to want to be excited with involved with our nonprofit? What was it that originally got you excited? And so everyone's going to share their story. Hey, I really care about children. I really care about abused women. This happened to me. Or in my case, it took scholarships for me to go to college. And it really meant a lot to me that people believed in me enough to give me those scholarships. It was the first time someone really invested in me that, weren't my parents. And that caused me to really want to pay that forward and make a difference, et cetera. So you're going to go around and ask everyone to share why, what was it that caused them to want to get involved with your nonprofit in the first place? Why does this cause matter to them? And what that's doing is that is activating the emotional side of them. That's getting them to reconnect with their purpose, why they care, what was it that really drew them to the mission to begin with? Okay. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. All right. Now, the very next thing, so once everyone is in line, with the mission, like here's why we're all here. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to be like, okay, so we're going to talk about our fundraising goal for this year. And then you're going to share your story. You are not going to just say, hey, y'all, we're going to raise $20,000 this year, or we're going to raise $100,000. No, you're going to share your story. Now, here's your story. Your story is what led you to want to do the fundraising goal that you now want to do. You want to share that story. So, my story would be something like, yeah, I tried, for all these years, I was, thinking, hey, we could just have a small fundraising goal for my nonprofit because that seemed easy and attainable, but really, we never really hit that anyway. And even when we did, it just wasn't very exciting and it really didn't get us very far. But then I started, working with more people, helping more of my clients hit bigger numbers. And I realized this is something that's possible. Other people are doing it. I'm helping my clients do it. Why don't I start doing it for myself? What have I been waiting on this whole time? And so then realizing that, it was like, hey, let's set a bigger target. And then setting that bigger target becomes exciting, and it's something that is possible, and it's something that we can do, right? So you're going to share your story, that, hey, you were aiming for smaller targets or whatever, but you went to this great challenge, the Ask for More Donations Challenge with 700 other nonprofits around the country. You started hearing about stories about how other nonprofits have been winning and raising even more money, how that is possible, how there are people that can give, all these, amazing statistics about how people want to give and support, et cetera. And that caused you to believe that, we can aim higher. And now you're in a coaching program where you're learning the strategies from people that have raised more, so you know how to do it. So you believe that's something that's possible for your nonprofit. You follow me? You're going to walk them through the story, because them hearing that story will make them feel like they are in the story. They're going to feel like, wow, I was a part of a challenge with 700 nonprofits around the country. Then I learned the stories about all these other nonprofits that were raising money and how it's possible, and the stats about, donations, and the fact that, the law of polarity, how there are always people that are suffering, but there are always people that have more than enough, and how those people want to give and donate, blah, blah, blah. I learned all this. Like they're going to hear your story, and they're going to start having the same epiphanies that you did as well. Okay. So you're going to share your story. So then you're going to say, so, hey, so that, is what led me to believe that we could set a bigger target. How do you guys feel about that? And you open it up. Maybe someone will say, I don't know how to do it or whatever else. And that's when you address that concern. Well, hey, yeah, you don't know how to do it, but I'm in a program right now with literally nonprofits from all over the country, and we're all working toward this. And people have done this before. And if someone can do it before, that means that we can do it too. You follow me? You literally just reassure them from their concerns. And then you go back to the question. So How do you guys feel about that? Setting a bigger target for this year. Because again, you're asking for their permission. You're asking for what? Buy-in, right? You're asking for them to chime in, and that's it. So everyone's going to talk about, okay, well, what do you guys feel about that? How do you feel? Is that something you feel would be possible? And you can even put out your number. Well, hey, for this year, I would like our target to, instead of being whatever, I would like our target to be $100,000. I would like our target to be $50,000 or $25,000 or $75,000 or whatever the target is. You put it out there, okay? And then you're going to share. The third thing is you're going to share the case for support. That's your why, right? And that's when because before you can sell other people, you've got to sell your team, because we need your team to be aligned with the vision. We need them to be just as on board with this as you are. You are committed, but you're one person. We're trying to clone you. We want your program assistant committed. We want your board members committed. We want your volunteers committed. We're trying to clone you. This is how it's done. You have to take that vision that you have and get other people aligned with it. So the third one is you're going to share the case for support, because now you're going to say, so when we raise that money, this is why we're raising it. This is why it matters. And you're going to share that. Now, remember the point is that I shared, you're not just going to say, yeah, we're going to buy some new furniture. We're going to redo the carpet because the carpet is old. No, you're going to share it to them in terms of impact. Yeah, we're going to raise that $50,000 because remember, for every $100 that we raise, we can, get one person off the streets, or we can provide one homeless person with a meal and a blanket and, a shower and a chance to, get some training for whatever. You follow me? You're going to wrap it in terms of impact, right? Because, hey, for every $50 we raise, that's one student that we can, have come to the leadership conference and learn new skills to get them into college. You're going to frame it as impact. Okay. But that's your case for support. You're going to share that with your board. This is where it's going. All right. So now after that's when you get the buy-in. So how do you guys feel about that? Is that something you think we can do? Is that something that is exciting to you? And let them chime in. Now, of course, they're going to have their concerns. They're going to have fears. And you are now equipped to address those fears. Oh, what if it doesn't work? What if we're disappointed? What if we don't hit the number? Tell them, what do we have to lose? We don't have anything to lose. I mean, if we don't hit $100,000, then guess what? By aiming higher, though, we will certainly raise more than we've ever raised before. There's nothing to lose by aiming higher, other than the fact that you're still going to get further ahead than if you aimed really low. If you aim really low, you're likely going to miss that target. Okay. At least if you aim high, you've got to swing even harder and hit even harder. That ball's going to go much farther than if you said, I'm just going to take a small little hit to try to get an inch. And that inch probably isn't exciting enough to motivate you to do anything anyway. Let them know that all work works. Guys, look, it's either going to work on us or it's going to work for us. We're either going to get the result that we want, which is raising the amount that we want, or we're going to learn the lessons that we need to raise it the next time. Even if we don't, hit the target, we're going to meet a bunch of donors. We're going to put our message out there. We're going to get a program built, something that'll help us get farther than we've ever gone before. This is you imparting your vision to them. Hopefully it's clicking now. This is how things are done. When people run for president, they take their platform, which is their vision and their mission, and they impart that to a whole bunch of other people. They literally go around the country saying the same speech over and over again, saying the same platform over and over again, telling the same stories over and over again. Like literally, because they want their story to become other people's story. They want their passion to become other people's passion. This is how movements are started. This is how organizations grow. So if you haven't been doing this, this is why, and you've been doing it wrong. So this is the way to impart vision and to get other people involved, okay? So there you go. You're painting that picture and you're going to address all their same concerns. Oh, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to bug people. I don't want to whatever. Listen. And that's when you explain it. People are not, going to be offended by this. People are going to be excited that you're a professional that's giving, that you're someone that wants to make a difference, that you're someone that gives back to the community. Yeah, you might have a person or two that's like, oh, don't send me any more emails. Then we just won't send that person any more emails. But the majority of people are going to think this is great. And you're awesome for caring about a charity. And you're awesome for making a difference maker, for being a difference maker, because you are. You follow me? You are literally addressing their concerns. You're winning them over. You're imparting the same vision, the same confidence that you have with other people, which is going to magnify your efforts. Because the more people we can convince and persuade and get on board, the less you have to do, right? Because it's not just you anymore. You've got a team. And that's what we want. We're aligning this is the alignment of the team, okay? So now they're on board. They're like, okay, that makes sense. I get the amount. Yeah, I think it will be great to, aim for a bigger target. All right. I feel better about what we'll use it for. I feel good asking for people, doing a fundraiser or whatever, because, we're asking for something else. And you can even tell them with this, it's an event. So it's not even like they just have to, go to everyone's house one-on-one to get them to come. No, it's an event. You're promoting something that's fun. Right. But now you're going to explain, the whole concept, like, how are we going to do this? Because that's what they're going to say. Oh, do I have to, show up at people's houses and sell a pitch or something? I don't want to do that. No, that's not what we're asking you to do. That's when you're going to explain the how, which is the virtual fundraiser. And the same thing, you're going to explain it the same way. You're going to tell a story. Hey, I've tried doing, Giving Tuesday, nobody gave. I tried posting on Facebook, nobody gave. I tried doing a GoFundMe campaign, no one gave. We tried all these one-off things, but I've learned in this conference that I attended, this 5-day challenge, all right, that the reason those one-off tactics didn't work is because we need a funding engine. That is a system that gives us a repeatable process for people to give. It's a donor acquisition system. It gives us the 4 C's. It's a way for us to first connect with people, then it gives us a way to communicate with people, then it gives us a way to get a commitment, a financial commitment from those people. And then the 4th C is we cultivate those people so they do it all over again. That's what we've been missing, is a system. And then I in this great coaching program I'm in, I learned that a really easy system for us to do is a virtual fundraiser. So I was hoping we could do one of those. How do you guys feel about that? You follow me? Now, again, you're getting buy-in. They're like, oh, because since you shared a story, instead of just giving a mandate, instead of just saying, oh, this is what we're going to do, my way or the highway, they feel like they've been along that journey with you. And they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Yeah, virtual fundraiser is great because people don't have to care about our cause to give. It's fun. It's entertaining. We're going to make it like an event. Everybody buys tickets to an event. People that don't have money will still, pay for entertainment. They'll pay for Netflix. They'll go to concerts. They'll pay for things that are fun. And people with money will pay for events like this because they want to be a corporate sponsor. They want to give. They want to, there are all these other ways, right? There's a silent auction. We're going to have raffles and prizes. It's going to be great. Do you follow me? You're literally getting them to buy into the vision. This is called buy-in. You're aligning the team with everything that you know. So now that your story becomes their story. And this is, again, this same principle you all works in your nonprofit. This will work with your family. If you want to get everyone on board to take a family trip, if you want everyone to be on board with, you all getting a new house, you changing jobs, you doing something else. If you want to get your business involved, if you have a business and you want your team members to get on board with, additional, accountability or what have you, this is how it's done. You share your story with your epiphanies, with what you learned, with what got you there, and you take them along for the ride. All right. So that's the virtual fundraiser. Hey, so how do you guys feel about that? Is that something that you think would be good for us? And if you've shared the story and walked them through the steps, they're going to reach the same conclusion that you did. Man, that sounds great. They might have concerns. Well, I've never done anything like that before. I don't know how to do that. And that's when you just tell them, look, y'all, I'm in a great program that I'm already learning these awesome strategies from people that have already done it before. We can do this. And just your confidence will inspire confidence in them. Listen, that's not the time to, speak from your subconscious mind with your fear. This is the time to speak in confidence. And guess what, guys? If we don't get it right the first time, it's okay. It's okay. We don't have anything to lose. We're going to do a great program. People are going to hear our heart. And, we're going to be better just from doing it. And that means the very next one we do will be even better. We have nothing to lose here. When you take that pressure off of people, suddenly it's like, wow. Let's do it. We have, there's room to be human. We all need that. We all need that grace because nothing in life is perfect. Okay. Nothing in life always, goes exactly as planned. So just getting that grace and knowing that you have that confidence to know, hey, we're going to try and it's okay to fail. It's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if we don't hit the target. That just means we will keep going and we'll do better. Just hearing that from them will give them confidence as well. All right. So now that we've got them on board with what we're doing, we've got them on board with the goal, we've got them on board with, hey, doing it through a virtual fundraiser. Now we can say, all right, y'all, so let's plan this thing. Okay, so I'm in this coaching program, and the last class in the program ends. You look at your little schedule to see when the last session is, because I recommend that you do it after this. So you've got all the information and then you can implement it, so by then I'll have all the steps for everything to do. What's a good date for you all? And let everybody pull out the calendars and pick a date. Okay, great. So the program ends here, whatever. All right, great. Well, let's give ourselves from there, 60 days after that to promote it, to implement everything and do it. Oh, okay, that sounds good. So bam, you put that in place. So that's step 5. We're going to choose the date, choose the time. All right, then we're going to talk about the theme. So this is a virtual fundraiser. The goal is for it to be entertaining. It's not supposed to be sad and, all this, how many, people every hour are dying from drunk drivers. No, the goal is to have a fun theme that people want to come to, that's great, etc. And we're going to have games, all that kind of stuff. Of course, we're going to share our mission and vision, but it's still going to have a fun, entertaining feel. What are some themes you guys like? And just talk about it. If people need, time to think about it, they can come back later. You can do a separate planning meeting to go on those details if people want more time, but go ahead and think about that theme. My theme for my nonprofits, ours, is celebrities and scholarships. All right. It's a time where, folks can dress up, look like a celebrity, come have a good time, etc. Okay. So either way, and you all are all going to be invited. So there you go. It's a great event. So get a name for the, a name for the event and a theme. That's number 7. Then step number 8 is going to be choosing your choose your branding. Okay. And so that's just, thinking about, okay, do we want special colors? Do we want a special hashtag that we'll use on social media for it? Any other, kind of branding custom elements to make it stand out. So for ours, we still stick with the colors of our nonprofit and all that. And we just use the hashtag, celebrities and scholarships, etc. But you'll, talk about those things. And then number 9 is you're going to recap everything. So, hey, y'all, let me just recap everything that we've established. All right. So we've already established, we've gone through our mission and, our mission and vision. We've set our fundraising goal. This is what we're aiming for. All right. We've decided on the case for support, which is, why are we raising this money? What are we going to do with it when we get it? Here's what we're going to do. It's going to let us help this many more people. All right. We've agreed upon our how, which is, we're going to accomplish this by doing a virtual fundraiser this year. All right, we've chosen a date and a time for this virtual fundraiser. Hey, at the end of my program, 60 days out or 30 days out, or however long you want to give yourself. All right, we've settled upon some initial names for the event, some initial colors and branding for it. And so, this is the recap. Does this sound good to everyone? Again, you're recapping, you're getting buy-in. Is there anything I missed? All right. And people say, oh yeah, you forgot to mention that, we're going to try to get Beyonce to perform. Okay, cool. Write it down. But you literally recap to make sure there's buy-in, because again, this is not a dictatorship. We want people to know that they were part of the process, and to know that our team was a part of the planning. So you recap everything. And then the last step, this is my favorite one. This is the powerful one. This is one you all are going to love. You're going to say, all right, so the last thing is that, and if you're in person, you can do this, or even if it's virtual, you can do it as well, is you want to ask the team, you want to say, the last thing I want to say is this, is we are doing a fundraiser, but I want to be able to tell everyone at the fundraiser that we have 100% board support for this event. When we are telling other people to give, I don't want to ask anybody to do anything that we ourselves have not done. And so my question for each of you is, what is your financial commitment to making this happen? I'm not going to give you a specific amount, but I want you to get in your mind a number that you personally are going to commit to giving to seeing this happen. Okay. Get that number in your head and just and literally, you don't even have to give people or whatever, but, and guys, I want it to be a stretch. Again, if we're wanting people to stretch, we need to be the first ones to put our money where our mouth is to, make a commitment. So what is that commitment? Okay. And so let everybody think about it. They don't even necessarily have to share it, but then you say, okay, so what's a deadline that we can all agree to for when we are going to give that money before our fundraiser? And you let the team decide, oh, well, we need a little bit of time. Let's wait until after our tax refund gets in. Let's wait until whatever. But let the team decide on a date, and then you recap it. So we all agree that our deadline for the board to have our donations in will be by the next meeting on such and such a date and time. Is that correct? Do you see what I'm doing there? I'm literally getting buy-in for each and every step so that nobody can say that they didn't agree. No one can say that they didn't know, that they weren't on board. We are all crystal clear and the entire team is aligned. Does that make sense? Awesome, awesome, very good. And those are the 10 steps. That is how we are going to then, that first level, to get everybody inspired and on board for it, which is so great. So I'm excited. So that's going to be our homework. So let's go ahead and wrap up with homework because I want to leave a little bit of time for questions if you all have any. So those are our 10 steps for planning this event. And we start from the leadership team, because if we can get all of them bought in and excited and on board, etc., then that means that everyone's circle of influence is going to now expand. You are multiplying your efforts. And when we start talking about how to market this event, how to get the word out, all that kind of stuff, it is not just going to fall on your shoulders. It is going to be a team effort because everybody is aligned and moving powerfully and wanting this goal just as badly as you want it. All right. So let me share homework real quick and then I'll open it up for questions. If you have the little hand raise emoji, you can put it up for questions or you can drop it in the chat. And I'll start answering them in just a moment. So here's our homework. So the first bit of homework is there are a couple books that I want to recommend. And again, I'm going to email these out. Email these out to you. But the first one is called The 5-Minute Manager, and it's by Ken Blanchard. So the 5-Minute Manager is going to give you the way to work with your program assistant. All right, this is going to give you a really good structure for how to communicate with team members, how to give feedback, how to give constructive feedback if they do something good, if they do something bad, etc. How do you communicate with people in a way, to get things done that's still productive while still being respectful and getting the result that you want? That book is powerful and it's really been a game changer for me as well. Okay, so that's The 5-Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard. The next one is Leadership and the 1-Minute Manager, a situational approach to leading others. Okay, this is the next book I want you to get by Ken Blanchard. Again, really short book, but this book is going to take you to the next level with your team. So meaning now that you've got people on board, the 5-Minute Manager talks to you about how to work with them, how to give tasks to them, how to give feedback, etc. This book teaches you how to really elevate their leadership to a point where you have a team managed nonprofit, where you're not doing everything, where people are completely autonomous and willing to do things on their own without you having to look over their shoulder and all of that. Okay, so this is, that's the next thing, the situational leadership in the 1-Minute Manager book. Okay, that's the next book for you. And then the last bit of homework is you are going to have your board meeting and you are going to get your team aligned. So invite your board, invite your program assistant. If you have any key volunteers, you can also have them there as well if you're comfortable, but you are going to get those 10 steps. You're going to practice them. You're going to get comfortable with it. And you are going to be the leader that I know you are. And you're going to inspire that confidence. You're going to share that vision. You are going to share your story and be humble about it. Don't try to, paint a pretty picture with it. When I'm sharing my story, I'm not just trying to sound like I had all the answers. I'm the first one to tell you, look, I was doing all these things myself, feeling like a hypocrite because I'm helping my clients raise money and do all these great things. And I'm not even doing it for my own nonprofit. I mean, that was my journey. And then realizing, hey, it's time for me to step it up. I can do this too. Why haven't I done this for my own charity? The Bible says charity begins at home. It's time to wake up, Audrey. Let's do this. Be transparent, be vulnerable. People, love authenticity. They want to know that you're a real person. Okay. So share that journey and know that it's okay because that's going to give them permission to be human as well. All right. So that's the last piece of homework is you're going to have that board meeting. You're going to get your team aligned and then you're going to post about it in the group. Okay. You're going to let, and even your takeaways from today, as far as what were the things that really stood out to you, the things that you, really took away from, you're going to share those in the group and also, do that meeting. So then the next time we come back, we're going to be able to hit it heavy as far as, all right, we've got this event in motion. Let's start getting it planned. Let's start getting the word out. Let's start selling some tickets, getting some sponsorships. Let's start getting into all the fun stuff. All right. So let's open it up. So questions, I already see some hands. So let's start with Dr. Coffee.
Yes, quick question. As the owner and the founder of the organization, do we supposed to donate as well?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. 100%.
So what does that look like? Like, let's say I'm building a building. So every month I'm spending thousands and thousands of dollars.
Got
So do I spend more money on top of that, or is that my donation?
Got it. Very good question. Okay, so if you're already, say, covering expenses and all that, out of pocket things, et cetera, for the nonprofit, that makes perfect sense. Then what I would do though is I would still want to make a special donation toward the fundraiser. So that, if you're already, hey, I'm carrying all these bills and, all this kind of stuff that's coming out every month and your board knows it, et cetera, then it wouldn't be expected that you have to, do something over the top because you're already doing over the top things. But instead, I would at least say, hey, but here is my, just above and beyond, just special donation specifically toward the fundraiser. And you can tell them, because even though I'm already doing all this for it, I want to be the first person to give to, our first virtual fundraiser, because that's how much I believe in it. You follow me? And that, Dr. Coffey, I'm telling you, when you do things like that, people see you. You're already a leader. They're already inspired by that, but just that level of commitment, like, man, she's already doing so much. And then she's still like, and on top of that, I'm still going to put in this toward the fundraiser because this is how much I believe in it. That is something that resonates with people. It's like Elon Musk. He's the richest man in the world, the founder of, Tesla, the car company. And he will literally, when they were trying to hit their production deadlines and all, this was in the headlines. He spent the night on the manufacturing plant floor. He literally slept there with the workers. He said, look, we have these deadlines and I'm not leaving you to work through the night while I go back and just chill. No, I'm going to be on the factory floor through the night with you as well, so that we can all hit this together. You follow me? And people that support Tesla, it's like a cult. People would follow him over a cliff because they know that's just how deep his conviction runs. So yes, ma'am, I would absolutely say still just earmark an amount, even if it's not something excessive, but just something specifically toward the fundraiser. That was an excellent question.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Absolutely. Candyland Designs.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. So I probably have more questions than the typical asker, but let me start with the virtual fundraising platform that you use, because I have no idea where to begin. I love the idea of creating a virtual
Yes.
fundraiser. I just don't know what that would look like in terms of tech.
Absolutely. We are going to get there. We have a whole section on tech.
Okay.
Don't you worry about it. I've got you. Plug and play. You don't
All
have
right.
to reinvent the wheel. I'm making it as easy as possible. Next
Thank
question. You got it.
And then my other one was, because the second one falls right in line with that, you're getting to it. So thank you. So
Awesome.
my question was, do we have a timeline for the grant submission documents, or when someone will reach out and ask us questions?
Got it. Okay. Clarify that again. You said grant submission document for what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. So in the first day one, we worked on getting into the grant database, locating grants, filtering it out, how to create a template for your application. And
Oh, got it. Okay. Got it. The
we're
bonus
like,
course.
if you don't have time for this, or you need some help, we got you.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So you're talking about the, okay, I'm with you. So one of the bonuses that you receive for this whole program in the system is the Get Grants for Your Nonprofit training. Is that correct?
Yes.
Got it. So you have a question about the grant process from that training. Awesome. So what we'll do for the sake of time is I'm going to have Scarlett drop her email address in the chat, and you can just email her directly. And yep, if there's any question about that training, we are happy to answer it. You got it.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Anything else? All right, so I'm going to keep it moving just for the sake of time. So I've got Tala, I think, hopefully I said it right.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Yeah, Oded, nice to talk to you. I have a question. One, I have my organization, we focused we're working more in Africa, across Africa. So I was really concerned with how my board should be, how my board should be kind of like based, or how should it be with respect to the fact that we are working from here and engaging across Africa with the different countries we're working in. And then the other question I also had was with respect to because I haven't yet set up the 501c3, can I be able to begin putting implementing all what you say when I do not have this in place?
Sure.
What are the repercussions or something like that?
Got it. Very good question. Okay, so I'll address the second question first. So a part of that little 10-step checklist that I gave in our last session about the 10 things that you need before you start asking for donations, the very first one is to make sure that you have all of your legal structure in place. So I definitely recommend that you have your 501c3 status, your incorporation, any fundraising registration licenses, all those things. You certainly want those in place before you start asking the public for money, right? Because that can, result in you having to pay taxes on that money yourself. Imagine you raise $100,000 and then the IRS comes to you saying that you, out of your pocket, need to pay taxes on that money, which would be a 30% tax bracket, et cetera. So you definitely want to have those legal protections in place. So if that's something you need help with, my law firm can assist. We have a package for helping you get all the legal paperwork together. That is outside of this program though. But Scarlett just dropped in the chat our information, Tala. So just, give us a call or on the website and we're happy to help with that. So that's the first question. Yes, please get the legal stuff done first and et cetera. But of course you can still go through the program, get all this information and you'll have this information forever, right? So, as long as the internet allows us to, have it online. So you'll always be able to reference it. And then your first question about structuring it, since a part of your team is in Africa, a part of your team is here, that's actually a little outside of the scope of this program. So that's really more of a legal question. You need an attorney to kind of just sit down and look at how everything is structured and go through the laws, et cetera. So that's actually outside of the scope of what this program covers. This program just covers how to actually do your virtual fundraiser so that you can start raising money. But again, if that's something you need assistance with, you can reach out to us and we'll let you know if we're able to advise on that.
Okay.
Awesome. Great questions. Great questions. Troy, do you have a question or was your hand still up from earlier?
I have a question. Could you very, very quickly recap the steps? Because after step 3, I think everything started running together for me and I'm sorry.
Perfect. No worries at all. Awesome. Not a problem. And we'll be emailing it out to you. I should have it, by tomorrow. Usually it just takes us one day to get the email out just like last time. But step 1 is you're going to schedule a meeting with your board.
Got it.
All right. Step 2 is you're going to set your fundraising goal. Which is, whatever amount. And that's where you share your story about how you came to that conclusion for that amount. And then you ask for their buy-in. Step 3 is you're going to share the case for support, meaning where is the money going? How are we using it? Step 4 is you are going to share how you're going to raise the money. And that's your journey. That's your story about how you came to the conclusion that a virtual fundraiser was the best way to do it. Okay. So you're going to share that story.
Got it.
And step 5 is you are going to, as a group, ask everyone to choose the date and choose the time. So that's got it. Say, hey, my program ends in this time, so what's a good time after that? So get buy-in there. Step 6 is you're going to choose the theme. So that's when we ask everyone, hey, let's choose a theme. What's something fun? How do you all feel about it? Step 7 is you're going to name the event, choose a name for the event. And then step 8 is you're going to choose your branding for the event. So that's just like if there are any particular colors you want to use, if you want to have a special hashtag for the event, any type of little slogan, just, any branding things. And then step 9 is you're going to recap it. You're going to recap everything. Just walk them through the journey, just so everybody knows what was agreed to. And then step 10 is my favorite, which is you're going to ask your team for their financial commitment, and you're going to ask them to agree on a date when everyone will have those donations in.
Okay, thank you. Got it. I just did step 7. Yeah.
I love it. Lisa's like number 10's her favorite too. That's it. Everyone always wonders, how do I get my board to give? How do I ask them for money? Well, the first is they should know that up front when they sign up that, a financial commitment will be involved with any amount, but then that is exactly how you do it in a way that doesn't offend anyone, in a way that is, easy and in alignment with what your goals are. So great questions, Troy. Okay, let's go to Lakeisha. These are great questions, by the way, everyone.
Hey there, I just have a quick question. When we talk about the theme for the fundraiser,
yes.
Do you recommend that we can change it every year, or do you recommend it stays the same every year?
Got it. That's a very good question. You know, I was just talking to someone and about this. So I'm a huge fan of branding, right? So what that means is it's great if you can have like an actual kind of name for the event that stays consistent. So maybe like, you know, when you think of the Grammys or the Oscars or, you know, some of these events or some of the fundraisers, the Met Gala is a really big fundraiser, or the annual Relay for Life, right? Like they have a name for the event that stays consistent year to year, but I think the theme can change. Okay. So, you know, you can have the Met Gala and this year the theme is all white, you know, or whatever. So definitely, I think the theme can be interchangeable, but I am a huge proponent of having a named event that you can brand and that people can know and identify, because what happens is it makes it easier and easier year after year for people to look forward to it. Oh, you know what? I know that event's coming up. I have people to this day that look forward to our nonprofit event. They calendared it out years ago. You know, we're like, oh, my kid is, you know, able to come to the conference. I know it's coming, you know, when is it? Like, it's amazing that people will do that. So it just makes it easier. And also you eventually do want to get that trademark as well. So you actually own that name. That was a great question, Lakeisha. Okay, let's go to Boulder and then we will go to Jeanette. Boulder, you can unmute yourself if you're still there. Okay, well, for the sake of time, we'll go to Jeanette next, and then we'll bounce back if they're available. Hey,
Hi. So do we need like state registration or stuff like that to raise funds?
Got it. Very good question. All right. So I'll give you a general answer because that's a little outside of the scope of this program. It's just a fundraising coaching program. So I'm not able to give any legal advice or anything like that. But generally speaking, every state is different. Okay. So some states do actually require just a fundraising registration. So that way you can solicit donations in the state legally. Other states do not have that requirement. So it kind of all depends. But my firm, which is a, you know, separate, you know, business or what have you, we can help with that if you, you know, need us to look into that to let you know if that's something you need. Great question. Yay, awesome. Okay, I think we've got Tala, and then we will do Boulder if Boulder is available, and then we will, and Dr. Coffee, do you have another one? Oh, no, you took it. Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll do Tala and Boulder, and we'll probably call it a day.
No, I actually already asked the questions.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Great. Glad to assist. And Boulder, did you still have a question? Were you available?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Awesome.
Okay. All right, great. Sorry. All right.
No worries.
Actually, it's Wayne. It's Wayne, but that's just.
Oh, hi, Wayne. Okay, great.
No problem. Yeah, I kind of still been struggling with the boards, selecting the right board members. I know that was our assignment from last time, and I haven't been able to successfully select my board members yet that I want to work with me on the board. I have some people now that they're not really actually active board members. And then the other one was my program assistant, selecting the right program assistant. I have one person that's kind of working with me a little bit, but they cannot commit to being a program assistant for me. And I'm not sure if that was some type of template or something that you shared in the first meeting that we can send out to sort of like get an idea of, or let people know our qualifications for being board members and program assistants?
Sure, absolutely. So one of the bonuses, I'm pretty positive now, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, and if not, I'll make sure you get this. One of the bonuses in your members area, did you all get the Pick the Best Board system? It's called Pick the Best Board.
Yeah, I see that one. Pick the best.
Okay, yes, that's the one. That's the one. Awesome. See, I'm telling you, I tried to think of everything that you need. So that, listen, I'm all about over delivering. So in that system already has your board invitation letter. We talk about the requirements. Just it's everything you need, Wayne. Like literally just open that one up and you are just gonna smile. You can copy and paste that letter, just fill in their names, etc., to get it out. And you will be fine. And another good thing is you can always ask for recommendations. So ask your current, if there are any current volunteers, if there are any current people that you help or serve, think about people that you've worked with at past jobs, people that you know from the community, etc., church, where a gym where you work out, people you've done business with. You would be amazed at how many people you're connected to. So right now, your mind is focused on, just limitation, right? You're feeling like I'm stuck. There's nobody, I can't see anyone, etc. You want to refocus your mind to abundance. You want to tell yourself those board members are out there. I'm just not aware of them. So it's time for me to look. Where are my board members? And just literally start looking. And I'm telling you, I mean, there are 7 million people in the country. Like, you'd be amazed. There are plenty of people that will want to help and serve with your board. But that system in your members area has the letter, has everything that you need. Wayne, by our next session, you will have your board members. And I can't wait to hear you share about it. Just take action.
All right, I received that.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good. Very good. Okay. Someone says it's in the dashboard, but requires permission to access the Google Docs. Okay, great. So Scarlett, let's just go ahead and make sure that we just make a note after the session to go into the members area to make sure that everyone has access to that. Thank you so much, Lisa. Dr. Coffee, and we're going to wrap it up for the day, y'all.
Should my event colors be different from my foundation colors? The colors in the logo, should that be different?
Oh, very good question. Very good question. So I am a big proponent of branding consistency, right? Because what happens is there's so much noise out there. And think about it, with your favorite products, that's why they have the same branding, like on everything, the packaging, or even your favorite cartoon. Have you ever wondered why the cartoon character wears the same outfit every episode, right? Like Winnie the Pooh always has the little top or whatever. It's because they realize that we need you to identify with this brand so you remember it and you can recall it easier, because there's just so much noise. So I am a big proponent of having the same colors, your same, your nonprofit logo, having unification when it comes to the fonts that you use, which is the typography, like making those things uniform. So when people see it, they know it. And think about it, even with Google, they'll have different products and all, but they always use that same font, that same kind of white background, the same spacing. So when you get an email from them, you know it's Google and it's not just the IRS, versus an IRS letter has that, certain type and all that. So to answer your question, definitely the same font. And I am also a fan of the same colors, just so that it's uniform and it stands out with the brand. But you can still have other graphical elements if it has a Western theme or a Halloween theme or some type of dress up theme. You can have other things that really, highlight the theme, etc. But just having those same fonts and those same colors a lot of times, really communicates that it's still your organization. But at minimum, you want your logo to be the same and you want the fonts to be the same, if at all possible, unless it's something like a really elegant event or something where you want that kind of fancy cursive writing, then that would be an exception, but your logo still definitely needs to be the same. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Excellent.
Chisholm still watch cartoons.
Oh, listen now, y'all know, I have 4 kids.
I got kids, yeah.
I have 4 little people, all of them 8 and under. My youngest is 5 months old.
What's
So
your favorite cartoon?
That's it.
What's your favorite cartoon?
Listen, Troy is picking on me, but listen, I know all about them. So there you go. But you all, I appreciate you so much. And I am so excited because everyone has made such great progress. So a couple of things. Tomorrow, we will have the notes from today out to you, via email. Make sure everyone gets that. And then use the group. You all post in the group, share your takeaways from today. Make sure you do the homework. We'll send out an email recap so that you have that. But let's powerfully take action on these things. Don't skip steps. Don't say, oh, that's silly. Why should I have to do that? Again, the very things that you aren't doing are causing the result that you currently have. You've got to sometimes think about, what am I resisting, and do those things so that you can get the result that you want. All right, everyone. I'm so excited for you. Another powerful session. Can't wait to see you all in the group. As always, I'll be in there, commenting and giving feedback as much as I'm able, but appreciate y'all. And we're moving forward. Have a great rest of the day. Bye, everyone.